we all love money. So growing up, I realized that we can't be so blunt about the fact that we love this piece of paper. For instance, people will give me a different look or maybe chuckle when they ask Tira, what's your favorite thing on earth? And my answer is money. Well, maybe this is a tad boring topic to talk about, but since I've been given the opportunity, I might as well let everything in my mind out. I think it is crucial for all of you to know that financial awareness is important. To put it simply, money-driven. Why would it be wrong to be money-driven? Just because you are money-driven doesn't necessarily mean that you doesn't care about anything else. You can still value things like friendship, environmental preservation, or the safety of people. Being money-driven just means that you are constantly looking for ways to earn money. However, as with most things in life, it is all about balance. Being money-driven in life can be good as it opens the door to new experience, and it helps you to start getting your life together by making a saving at such a young age. So focusing on it too much and it can become an obsession, leading you to sacrifice other important part of your life. It is important to make sure that you can keep control of something and not let it control you. If you can do that, you can do everything in your life. There is a story about a child who has faced a lot of hardship, and she's been told that she's a very, very good listener, full of curiosity, and her presence itself make people somehow trust her enough to tell their deepest secret. Families see her as a sanctuary, a safe place, someone who can and try to understand even though she's never been in that particular situation ever. The child learned that being financially stable is important to solve lots of issues in our life. Of course, money can't buy happiness. But in this economy, money can ease the burden up in our life more than we would like to admit. And that child is me. I began to take interest in earning money since I was standard 6. I used to sell almost everything that I see its potential. However, by the age of 14 till 17 years old, I started working as a barista, waitress, salesman, and home baker, etc. Once you start working, you start to understand how hard it is to earn money. You also learn how unpredictable life can be. Even though my parents can afford everything that I ask for, I really don't want to spend their hard-earned money for something that I'll probably get bored of after a few months of purchasing it. I personally think that it is important to start saving your money at a young age. You gain lots of experience and you will learn what to improve and what not to do in your journey of being financially stable. You are almost 20 years old and it is always good to start early and be prepared. I understand that it is parents' responsibility to work and to provide us necessities and what do we want. However, I also believe that we have to start living our life as soon as we see the opportunity by trying to ease your parents' burden little by little. Who knows that your baby steps now, your small business now, your journey of being a dropshipper will be one of the reasons of your success later on. By being independent, you have the possibility on affording things that your parents never give to themselves, and that will be a very good memory to preserve between your family and maybe friends. In conclusion, I think that being money driven is important for us. As we all want a comfortable life for us and our family, it is always good to try and find a way for you to earn money, as it can foster self-reliance and independence. If you don't start now, then when? I think that is all from me today. This video is basically a boring wake-up call from a stranger. So I hope that all of you may start seeing things differently in your life. Thank you so much for listening.
Hai korang. So, hari ni Haras just nak bagi peringatan dan juga nasihat dekat orang-orang yang lupa di luar sana. Kenapa Haras mention orang yang pelupa Well, basically, kita ni sebagai manusia, kita memang lupa. Kita ni orang yang lupa. Kita lupa pasal hati kita, pasal perasaan kita, pasal diri kita. Sebab apa tahu? Sebab kita terlalu memikirkan pasal orang lain. Kita terlalu menjaga hati dan perasaan orang lain sampai kita sanggup mengabaikan dan melupakan hati kita yang kian terluka. Sebab tu Haras mention orang-orang yang pelupa. Haras percaya korang yang tengok video ni adalah orang-orang yang pelupa. Korang lupa pasal hati korang sebab korang terlalu menjaga perasaan pasangan korang, kawan korang, family korang, sampai korang abaikan perasaan korang. Jadi Haras nak bagi nasihat dekat korang. Satu je nasihat, iaitu korang kena reti bezakan antara dua manusia. Yang pertama, manusia yang nak kau. Kedua, orang yang sanggup buat apa sahaja untuk keep kau, untuk jaga kau, untuk keep hubungan korang. Tak kisahlah couple ke, friendship ke, family ke, or apa-apa hubungan. Faham tak? So sekarang Haras nak describe orang yang nak kau. Yang pertama ni, orang yang nak kau ni adalah orang yang mencari kau bila dia susah je. Bila dia perlukan kau, dia cari kau. Bila tak perlukan kau, dia tak cari kau. Tetapi dia cari kau pun sebab orang-orang yang dia cari sebelum kau tak available. Itu je. Nampak tak? Sebab apa tahu? Sebab kau tak penting pun untuk dia. Kau siapa dalam hidup dia? Kau hanya orang biasa dalam hidup dia. Tapi kau letakkan dia someone special dalam hidup kau. Kau letakkan dia nombor satu, tapi dia letak kau last sekali, umbi tengah. Sekarang Haras nak cakap pula, nak describe pula orang yang kedua ni. Orang yang sanggup buat apa saja untuk jaga hubungan korang, jaga kau. Orang yang kedua ni adalah orang yang sentiasa ada dengan kau bila kau suka, bila kau duka. Sebab dia tahu yang kau perlukan dia. Jadi dia letakkan kau nombor satu. Maksudnya, bila dia susah pun dia cari kau, bila dia senang pun dia cari kau. Sebab dia letak kau nombor satu. Jadi, Haras nak tanya korang, antara orang yang nak kau dengan orang yang sanggup buat apa saja untuk jaga kau, jaga hubungan korang, yang mana korang pilih? Erti kata lain yang senang sikit, orang yang nak kau ni letak kau bawah. Orang yang sanggup buat apa saja ni letak kau nombor satu. Yang mana korang pilih? Haras percaya korang akan pilih yang ni. Tapi kita ni pelupa. Kita akan pilih yang orang yang letak kita dekat bawah. Sebab apa? Sebab korang rasa bahagia dengan dia. Bahagia ke? Itu je soalan Haras. Bahagia ke? Bahagia yang tiba-tiba. Jadi Haras nak tanya korang, okay, kalau kita ambil contoh peribahasa lah kan, hujan emas di negeri orang, hujan batu di negeri sendiri. Okay, kalau kita describe manusia ni sebagai emas dan batu, emas ni adalah orang yang nak kau, dan batu ni adalah orang yang sanggup buat apa saja untuk jaga hubungan korang. Baru menarik kan cerita kita. Emas ni, orang ni ada dengan kau sekarang. Tapi aku nak tanya kau, emas sentiasa ada ke dengan kita? Tak, babe. Tak. Emas ni selalu bertukar tempat. Kita membeli, kita meluahkan, dia mendengar, and dia pun mendengar luahan daripada orang lain pula. So, kira emas ni bertukar-tukar. Batu pula, batu ni orang abaikan. Orang abaikan batu ni. Orang lupa pasal batu. Macam mana korang lupa pasal hati korang? Itulah dia batu. Nampak tak? Jadi, kalau korang pilih emas, korang jangan sedih lah kalau dia tak cari kau dulu. Tapi, kalau kau pilih batu, Haras yakin dia akan sentiasa ada dengan kau. Sebab batu ni, kita boleh buat macam-macam. Kita boleh buat rumah yang boleh melindungi kau. Rumah yang boleh melindungi kau. So, kalau kita describe batu ni sebagai manusia yang boleh menjaga dan melindungi hati kau. And then, emas ni bukan ada dengan kau pun selalu. Memang emas ni nampak bahagia, nampak ceria di luarnya. Tapi bila dia tak dengan kau, kau akan rasa sedih. Kau akan rasa, macam nak cakap, kau akan sunyi. Tapi kalau batu, kalau tak dengan kau pun kau okey. Kalau dengan kau pun kau okey. Sebab apa? Kau tahu, kalau kau pilih batu ni, kalau kau pilih orang yang sanggup buat apa saja untuk jaga hubungan korang ni, korang tahu, walaupun jauh mana korang berada, tapi kau percaya yang dia sentiasa ada dengan kau, dan dia pun percaya yang kau sentiasa ada dengan dia. Nampak tak perbezaan dia antara orang yang bergelar emas dan juga orang yang bergelar batu? Jadi, Haras nak tanya korang sekali lagi. Siapa yang korang pilih? Orang yang nak kau atau orang yang sanggup buat apa saja untuk jaga hubungan korang? Pilihlah antara dua. Jadi, Haras harap korang fahamlah apa yang Haras cuba sampaikan. Dan Haras percaya, korang yang tengok video ni semuanya pelupa. Sebelum Haras mengakhiri video Haras, sekali lagi Haras tanya, orang yang nak kau atau orang yang sanggup buat apa saja untuk jaga hubungan korang? Emas atau batu? Bye-bye.
So when we talk about labels, I would think about the labels that we see in our food products. Let's say, for example, cornflakes. So in Malaysia, we have two popular cornflake brands, Kellogg's and Nestle. And even though we have these two brands, we are still talking about the same food product.
I get the way you're trying to describe foods by your analogy, and I see that similarly when we try to label humans too. Humans are humans, and when we label them, we use words such as skinny, fat, tall or short. This is how we label humans.
And whether we notice it or not, labeling is in fact powerful, automatic, and resistant to change.
The reason why we say that is because these labels have an effect on the person. The person tries to conform to these labels, and then it's hard for them to get out from these labels.
So ladies and gentlemen, now that we have given you the general idea of what labeling is, in today's talk, we will talk about how labels work,
How labels will happen,
and the effect from the labeling culture.
and how to get rid of them.
Labels are for food, not for people. Labeling happens because lazy perceivers find it easy to group individuals up into marginalized groups. Let's say, for example, this person who is not inherently one of the three main races in Malaysia, local citizens would ultimately label this person as a foreigner, disregarding the fact that this person could also be born and raised in Malaysia.
In addition, the complexity of the world forces people to simplify around them. They do this by grouping those people into the labels that they have set forth for those people. Isn't it easier to identify a collective rather than an individual?
Labeling people could also contribute in controlling a population. Could you further explain on that, Irfan?
For example, atheists are demonized by religious people in an effort to discriminate against them.
Unfortunately, one could easily be labeled by their identity, appearance, and their personality.
And the labelers are both prejudiced, they discriminate, and they are very judgmental.
Labeling is problematic because this impacts towards individuals. How does it impact the individuals? Well, after they are labeled, they create an atmosphere for these individuals to feel out of place and indifferent from the norms of the majority. And this contributes to these individuals having lack of self-esteem and low on their confidence level, encouraging the bully culture among these labeled individuals.
In addition, the impact towards society is that it will breed a close-minded community. This is because the labelers are not tolerable to those who are different from the group. Thus, it leads to a non-tolerable community because they do not tolerate those individuals who do not belong to the group.
Labeling could limit someone's ability in expressing their truest self. For example, makeup. Makeup has always been seen as a feminine activity, and when men wear makeup, they will be ultimately labeled as gay. And because of this, men are discouraged to wear makeup just for the fear of being labeled gay by society, which is very bullshit, in my opinion.
Labeling others too will affect the way we treat them. Someone labeled an atheist will be treated very harshly by the majority. Do we want to treat others this way?
And do we want to live in such judgmental world?
So how do we get rid of these labels? We have to look past labels and see them as an individual. Everyone has a different story.
We could also educate our society actively about the prejudice and the discrimination that exists within our community. And guys, just don't be assholes.
Respect people.
That's Irfan.
That's Farhan.
And fuck the labels.
Mana mungkin aku duduk diam ketika saudaraku di Palestin dipedil meriam? Mana mungkin aku diam membisu ketika pemuda tidak bersenjata dihujani peluru? Mana mungkin aku duduk tidak peduli jika wanita-wanita Palestin kehilangan anak dan suami? Mana mungkin aku dan kamu tidak merasa apa-apa jika kanak-kanak yang tidak berdosa dan wanita digelek jentolak dan bulldozer? Mana mungkin aku terus leka jika penjajah Zionis Israel masih bermajarela, sementara masih ramai saudaraku di sini masih leka terus dibuai kesenangan dunia, hanyut lalai dan tidak peka. Kerana negara kita kan aman damai, kata mereka. Buat apa susah-susah tolong orang jauh, sedang di negara kita sendiri pun masih belum utuh. Aduhai, meronta-ronta hati ini, tidak merelakan kezaliman terhadap mereka. Ya Tuhan, bantulah mereka, kuatkan semangat dan kukuhkan kedudukan mereka. Hantarkan bala tenteramu menolong mereka, agar kekejaman dan kesombongan lenyap bersemi, agar kebenaran dan keadilanmu tertegak di bumi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera dan salam biru warna. Alhamdulillah, hari ini saya berkesempatan untuk berkongsi kepada anda apa yang boleh kita lakukan, bukan sebagai umat Islam semata-mata, tetapi sebagai manusia yang mempunyai sifat berperi kemanusiaan untuk menolong saudara-saudara kita di Palestin sana. Saya yakin dan percaya bahawa anda semua cakna tentang apa sebenarnya yang berlaku, apa sebenarnya kekejaman Israel yang membuat rakyat Palestin tersiksa. Namun hari ini, mari kita lihat apa sebenarnya yang boleh kita bantu. Walaupun jauh di Malaysia, tapi insya-Allah membantu sedikit sebanyak untuk meringankan beban mereka. Yang pertama, belajar dan dengar. Hari ini kita mendapat laporan daripada kedua-dua pihak
pihak Israel dan pihak Palestin. Namun, kita tidak boleh terima sebulat-bulat laporan itu. Oleh itu, kita perlu kaji kontra dan pro masing-masing laporan tersebut. Kalau kita bandingkan laporan Israel dan pihak Palestin, amat berbeza. Pihak Palestin menegakkan kebenaran tentang mereka, manakala pihak Israel pula membuatkan pihak Palestin ini nampak buruk dan hina. Oleh itu, kita kena kaji dan cari apa sebenarnya kejujuran daripada laporan tersebut. Dari situ kita dapat tahu bahawa kekejaman itu bukannya daripada fizikal semata-mata, tetapi juga dari fitnah yang berleluasa. Yang kedua, tidak lain tidak bukan sumbangan berbentuk wang tunai. Hari ini kita dapat banyak organisasi swasta yang membuka ruang untuk kita memberikan bantuan seperti Persatuan Cinta Gaza Malaysia, Aman Palestin, Global Peace Mission Malaysia dan sebagainya. Walaupun nilai itu sedikit, tidak kiralah RM1, RM2, RM3 maupun 10 sen. Tetapi dengan bantuan kita itu, kita mampu memberikan pendidikan mereka. Kita bantu memberikan ubat-ubatan untuk rakan-rakan kita di sana. Dan kita bantu untuk menyelamatkan nyawa mereka. Nilai sedikit itu, tetapi besar di mata mereka. Dan yang ketiga, kita memberikan sokongan moral. Dari apa? Sekarang kita berada di arus teknologi masa yang mana semua berada di hujung jari. Saya yakin rakyat Palestin juga tidak ketinggalan dengan kecanggihan teknologi media massa. Oleh itu, rajinkanlah tangan anda menaip sokongan-sokongan berbentuk moral dalam bahasa Inggeris ataupun bahasa Arab yang mana mereka faham. Pun kita tahu hari ini media massa memihak kepada pihak Israel. Oleh itu kita kena ubah kita punya hashtag itu kepada yang memihak kepada Israel, seperti Save Israel, Visit Israel dan I Love Israel serta sebagainya. Walaupun jijik, tetapi insya-Allah mesej moral ini akan sampai kepada mereka. Dan yang terakhir, khas kepada umat Islam semua. Doa itu senjata bagi kita. Berdoalah, selitkanlah doa untuk saudara-saudara kita di Palestin. InsyaAllah, apabila umat Islam bersatu, berganding bahu, Allah akan dengar kita punya doa. Dan insyaAllah, pertolongan inilah yang akan memerdekakan mereka, yang akan menolong mereka sepenuhnya. Kerana Allah janjikan bahawa sehebat-hebat senjata umat Islam terletak pada doa mereka dan terletak apabila kita semua bersatu. Terima kasih.
Hi, hello, annyeong, annyeonghaseyo.
Hello, annyeonghaseyo.
I'm Fatin, representation of Group F. Will give some tips or advice on phrases, simple phrases from K-dramas that every K-drama fans should know. Yay! Okay, first of all, a disclaimer. Since I'm not that fluent in Korean, I mean, I can read Korean. I can read Hangul, but I'm not that good in Korean. Take this with a grain of salt. This might not be that accurate. This can be accurate, but it's not that accurate. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, first of all, we got this phrase. Annyeonghaseyo. This is a very basic word. Annyeonghaseyo means hi or hello in English or ataupun hi in Melayu. Annyeonghaseyo is more to a formal, I guess. Annyeonghaseyo is more to a formal word rather than annyeong. Annyeong is for you to greet your friend. Annyeonghaseyo is to greet someone older. So if you see a friend, you always say like annyeong. You don't say to your friend like hi, selamat pagi. No, you always say like woi, good morning macam tu. It's kind of in that sense. So the second word is iso and opso. In this case, iso is I have, opso is I don't have. So if someone asks you, do you have a girlfriend? If you have, iso. Iso. If you don't have a girlfriend, ani opso. No, I don't have. The third word is 남자, 여자. 남자 친구 is for boyfriend. 남자 is boy, boyfriend. 여자 친구 is for girlfriend. So if someone asks you, 야, 여자 친구 있어요? Do you have a girlfriend?
있어? 없어. I have? I don't have. Next, it's 잠깐만. 잠깐만 or 잠깐만요, 잠시만요. It's the same word. It means kejap, wait for a while. Kejap. Macam tu. Usually ya is put for more in a polite way, in a polite sense. Next word you guys always use this. It's 어떻게. Like 어떻게, like how, or like in other way, like when you empathy that person, when you say like 어떻게, 어떡하지, like that. Like when someone is in trouble and you don't know what to do, or like 어떻게, 어떡하지. The next word is 하지마. 하지마 is don't do that, and 하지 말라고 is more to like orang kata jangan buat kan, macam tu. The next word is 죽을래. You wanna die? 죽을래? Like when you want to threaten someone, imagine your brother or your sister taking the most possessed thing you have, and you said to your girlfriend, to your brother or sister, you said, yeah, 죽을래? You wanna die, like that. So this also you listen often in drama is 그래, 진짜, and 정말. This three is really like the same meaning, like, but 진짜 and 정말 you can use it to emphasize 좋아 means like I like something lah kan. 좋아, I like something. 진짜 좋다. 날씨가 진짜 좋다. Like that. And the next word is 안 돼. 안 돼 is for like no, cannot. This is nope. 수영하면 안 돼요. You cannot swim here. Like that. And the last word, I guess everyone should know this word. People in K-drama always said this, but yeah, they always not sure because it's a yaish. Also, the most important thing is 고마워, 고맙다, 감사합니다. 감사합니다 is, like I said just now, it's a polite way. If with your friend you use 고마워 or 고맙다, 고맙다고, 고맙다. I think that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it is beneficial, more or less. And enjoy your K-dramas. Don't forget to do your assignments too. Bye. 안녕.
Hi, I'm Terry, and I will be giving a speech about ending systemic racism for a better, brighter future. The beauty of anti-racism is that you don't have to pretend to be free of racism to be an anti-racist. Instead, it's all about your commitment in fighting against racism wherever you can find it, including in yourself. And it's the only way out, quoted by Ijoma Odo, a famous activist writer. Racism can be defined as the act of people of prejudice, antagonism, and discrimination committed by an individual, community, or institutions against the people based on their citizenship, race, religion, ethnicity, sex, social status, and etc. This injustice act will result in the ongoing unfair advantage to some parties or detrimental treatments towards the minor community. This bias system is a collection of elements that are constructed for a trivial purpose, ranging from economic, political, and social components. This rule specifically disempowers and disfranchises certain disadvantaged people while securing the superior group's advantage, leading to higher job opportunities, better education offers, better housing, healthcare, and discrimination in criminal legal ground. Therefore, a few massive movements that were against this, such as the Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ rights, and civil rights Act 1964 were enforced. These were some of the poignant evolutions ever done by the world that were against the bigotry that has been ongoing throughout decades, taking innocent life and oppress others in misfortune. Historically, numerous of racial attacks had occurred, such as the 6 Asian women who were shot dead in Atlanta rampage, the Christchurch mosque shootings in 2019, and the ISIS attack in Paris back in 2015. And in Malaysia, our event of the Sri Maha Mariamman Temple riot and the 13th May riot still remain fresh in our mind. In this speech, I will put the light on the pros and cons of the systemic racism implementation towards one's country. First and foremost, systemic racism do only bring awful aftermath to those who experiences it. Although most people would admit that they never personally experience and do any racism act, actually they might have just normalized it without full realization. This embedded formalization of institutional, interpersonal, historical and cultural practices within a society has been adapting and leads to disproportion of one social, ethnic group in a better position to succeed. It also brings disadvantages to the other groups in consistent number and manner that the disparities evolve between both groups. Take for example, the apartheid law in South Africa back in year 1948. Apartheid means apartness, a system of legislation that enforced segregationist policies against the non-white citizens of the country. This racial division has badly affected the innocent life of Black Africans and also the children, as they were traumatized through witnessing poverty, racism, and violence every single day during that time. Therefore, the devastating experience had successfully resulted in creating a generation of maladjusted children. As for now, the apartheid law has still been running in the society, as the white supremacy belief, where the white people are considered superior compared to the other races, had caused numerous of racial attacks based on hatred solely. In conclusion, it is clear now that systemic racism do only bring hardships and suffers to the world, and also can lead to injustice, death, eternal scars both in mental and physical being. Secondly, I would once again support the motion today, which is to end systemic racism, with my second argument that this institutional bias oppress certain minorities and might spark issues to the countries of the world. The overwhelming killing of George Floyd, a decent black man who died after being handcuffed and pinned roughly to the ground by a white officer's knee, which captured the world's attention, touching off nationwide protests. This brutal death spurred global awakening demonstrations known as the Black Lives Matter movement that fought against police brutality and discriminations happening over the black people. The global attribute and protest not only received attention from the Minneapolis residents, but all over the 50 states in the US and the other countries such as United Kingdoms and the countries around Africa, Asia and Europe. Moreover, black slave trader statues had been taken down viciously. The responsible police officers who murdered Floyd were fired and charged in court. The American Police Department started to use less violence by banning chokeholds and neck restraints during interrogation. And more people, even the celebrities, donated and bailed out protesters. And currently, the folk are bold enough to say you are racist to those who discriminate them, just to make them realize how racism has been normalized these days. America also faced numerous of issues because of the BLM movement, as the protesters who flooded the streets in cities caused many destructions to public amenities. There was also a shocking rise of crime rate at that time, as demonstrators robbed shops, burned police stations, vandalized properties during the protests, and this catastrophe surely resulted in the sudden drop of tourism and economic activities. Also surged the number of positive COVID-19 cases during that time. Hence, with all being justified, we can see how destructive a protest can be. Therefore, in order to preserve the sovereignty of one's country, we shall not adhere with racist system, but instead, we should stand still together and fight for our rights. To sum up everything, systemic racism can be considered as an evergreen debatable topic, as some might support or oppose against it until these days, right? The torture on minorities causes controversies to one's countries of the world. Although racism attacks don't happen frequently in Malaysia, we do have to realize one thing. Thousands of others worldwide, the American-born Chinese, ABC, the Asians, the Black, Rohingyas, and others are still deeply suffering right until this very moment. In short, from the diverse point of views, we can conclude that systemic racism do have its pros and cons to varied parties. But one thing that everyone agreed on is racism is a toxic belief that one should never apply through verbal or physical discrimination, as great number of people will suffer once the racism is normalized in daily treatment. Therefore, the world needs more, not just non-racist, but also anti-racist community, so that a bias-free world could be formed. That's all from me, Terry. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Hello guys, so hari ni aku nak terangkan 5 tanda macam ni kita nak tahu orang tu suka kat kita. Yalah, supaya nanti tak adalah korang malu sangat kalau korang ni terperasan ke, korang confess ke, reject ke. So jom kita start. Tanda orang tu suka kat kita adalah dia cuba adakan masa untuk kita. Dia selalu WhatsApp, dia selalu nak jumpa, lepas tu dia suka spend time dengan kita lah. Macam tu kita tahu yang orang ni dia dah start selesa dengan kita. Dia start nak habiskan masa dia, kebanyakan masa dia kat kita. Macam tu lah. Yang kedua, orang yang suka kita ni, dia akan nak perkenalkan dia kepada orang yang dia dapat. Contohnya, dia akan bawa kita jumpa keluarga dia. So, bila kita jumpa keluarga dia, kita ni bukan ni macam kawan biasa lah. Kita mungkin bakal menantu mak dia. Kita bukan kawan biasa lah kalau kita dah jumpa mak ayah dia. Ataupun dia bawa jumpa kawan baik dia, ataupun circle dia. Macam tu lah. Yang ketiga, bila orang tu dah suka kita, dia akan start mula tunjuk side-side dia yang lemah, side vulnerable dia. Okay? Side ni, biasa ni, orang tak akan tunjuk kat orang yang biasa. Dia akan jumpa yang paling perfect yang selagi dia boleh. So bila korang dah start nampak bahagian yang orang yang tak nampak, maksudnya anda telah disukai oleh orang itu. Contoh yang paling orang tak biasa ambil sebagai contoh adalah bila orang tu penat, dia stres, dia marah, dia akan pergi kat korang minta pendapat, ataupun dia akan mengadu kat korang. Dia nak bermanja. Dia akan, sebab contoh kita bagi laki-laki kan ego, so dia akan tunjuk side dia yang manja kat, kalau perempuan tu biasa kan dia macam jual mahal. Tapi bukan nak kata dia murah, tapi sebab perempuan tu dah selesa dengan lelaki tu, so dia percaya lelaki tu, dan dia dah start rapat dengan lelaki tu, so dia telah suka kat lelaki tu. Macam tu lah. Yang keempat, diorang selalu nampak yang korang lah yang paling cantik, paling handsome dalam hati diorang. Cantik dan handsome tu sebenarnya adalah subjektif, tapi yang paling pasti adalah bila kau punya nilai orang tu dia suka, dia akan menaikkan nilai kita, nilai kecantikan kita. So biasalah kau akan nampak macam yang pasangan dia yang kurang handsome dapat yang pasangan dia yang cantik gila-gila. Sebab bila dia dah suka korang, tak kisahlah ikut personality ke apa, so dia orang akan tertarik dengan personality korang dan membuatkan korang lebih bersinar di mata dia orang. Mungkin kalau di Malaysia korang dikira sebagai buruk, di Korea mungkin anda seorang yang handsome. Itu. Dan last sekali yang kelima, tanda yang paling obvious sekali, dia dah start jaga korang. Bukan beban, tapi dia rasa bertanggungjawab untuk jaga korang. Dia boleh bawa vibe korang ni. Macam korang tengah sedih, korang tengah penat, kadang-kadang boleh bawa macam lelaki ni kadang-kadang dia kan lambat sikit, lepas tu kadang-kadang tak dia nak bau. Tapi kalau dia dah start boleh dapat bau, so maksudnya dia orang ni dah start suka kat korang. Dia orang pay more attention kat korang, dia orang lebih caring. So dia cuba sebaik mungkin lah untuk buatkan benda yang paling terbaik, tindakan paling baik bagi dia. Walaupun kadang-kadang benda tu ada paling worst yang boleh buat kat korang. So kat sini boleh lah nampak yang ini cuba kita nilai kat dia punya usaha dia untuk menjadi yang terbaik kat kita. Bahagian tu kita selalu silap pandang. Biasanya memang men are trash, tapi memang ada lagi yang jahat. Tapi jangan pukul rata semuanya sekali. Ada juga lelaki yang baik. Lelaki yang macam kat Korea, drama Korea tu ada. Orang je yang kena cari. Tunggu, sabar. Kita bukan nak cepat, kita nak bersedia. Bila tiba masa ni, korang akan dapat yang terbaik dari hidup korang. Sekian, terima kasih.
Okay, hari ni kami nak cakap pasal confess atau tidak.
What?
First, main point kita. Okay, kami nak cakap tentang apa itu confess.
Confess ni adalah satu perbuatan di mana kita express kita punya sayang dekat someone yang kita sayang. Dekat contoh dia sekarang ni, family, kawan. Kita nak express feeling sayang kita dekat someone tu.
Pada aku pula, confess ni dia sebenarnya macam satu tindakan yang sangat berani lah, sebab tak semua orang didedahkan dengan perkataan sayang ni. Macam ni, walaupun kita nak cakap dekat family ke kawan ke, kalau kita tak ada keberanian tu, kita takkan cakap sayang tu. Kita takkan sewenang-wenang dia cakap sayang tu dekat orang. Contohnya, walaupun dekat kawan sendiri, dekat family sendiri kan. Itulah confess.
Contoh confess ni, dari segi language aku, kita luahkan perkataan, melalui perkataan. Contohnya macam aku cakap aku sayang kau. So, aku confess sayang aku dekat kawan aku macam tu. Ataupun kita cakap dengan family, saya sayang mak. Macam tu. Tu confess perkataan.
Pada aku pula, confess melalui perbuatan tu lebih bermakna lah daripada perkataan. Sebab kalau kita cakap kita sayang gitu je tanpa perbuatan, meaningless. Pada aku lebih suka macam tunjuk, buatkan dia rasa terharu, belikan hadiah ke, surprise birthday ke. Itu lebih menunjukkan yang kita sayang dia, yang lebih memberi makna pada kita, yang macam kita confess dekat dia.
Tapi ada situasi yang mana orang tu dia perlu dua-dua tu. Kita macam kalau kau tunjuk perbuatan tapi kau tak cakap, dia susah nak percaya. Sometimes orang ni just nak dengar je. Sometimes orang just nak dengar je yang kau sayang dia. Benda tu dah boleh buat dia selesa. Kan? Okay, dalam hal ni aku ada dua perkara nak share. Satu, kalau dengan family, aku pernah jumpa family yang memang early family dia tunjuk yang dia buat semua tu untuk family dia sebab dia sayang family dia. Tapi ada family dia yang rasa dia tak sayang family dia sebab dia tak ungkap, dia tak cakap. Dia ingat kau busy bekerja sebab family, tapi sebenarnya kau tak sayang pun. Faham tak?
Okay, kalau pada kawan pula, untuk confess tu, kita kan nak kawan dia dengan lama. Kita tak perlulah cakap yang kita sayang dia macam setiap masa. Kita boleh je macam cakap sekali dalam persahabatan. Itu lebih bermakna pada aku. Okay. Dari segi crush. Patut ke confess dekat crush? Tak?
Aku rasa aku tak sokong kita confess dekat crush. Sebab dah lama pun crush kan, benda tak pasti. So aku tak berani nak confess dekat benda yang tak pasti. Aku takut kalau aku confess nanti dia bagi aku harapan. Aku tak suka ada harapan. Aku nak kalau betul tu memang tunjuk, cakap, serius. Tu bagi aku. Bagi kau?
Kalau aku pula, aku tengok orang crush tu. Kalau crush tu macam serius, yang kita betul-betul serius dengan crush tu, bukannya setakat crush yang nak tengok je, yang kita suka betul-betul, confess. Sedangkan Ernie Zakri pun confess dekat Syamil. Conclusion dia,
ada situasi yang kita kena tunjuk kita sayang, dan ada juga situasi yang kita kena cakap kita sayang.
Sayang tu kita kena jadikan mahal sikit.
Okay dah, tu je. Itu je ke channel.
Thank you for watching.
Tak lah, bukan nak cerita pasal lagu One Direction tu. It's actually a story of my uni life. I mean, I just want to talk about my pengalaman as a foundation student in UUM. Yes, I'm actually reading a script right now, jangan kecam. There are a lot of things that happen sebenarnya, even though I stayed there for 1 semester only. First MSK, sejujurnya berdebar gila time tu, as it was getting closer to the MSK. I have a problem to interact with people I'm not used to lah. I have this big wall in front of me every time I met new people. So I be like, if I do this, would they like me? And if I do this, would they hate me? But it was actually fun to know some of them before actually going to UUM. My MSK group wajib. Then the MSK habis just like that, and boom, tiba-tiba sampai UUM. It's a new place for me. As I mentioned before, I have problem to interact with people I'm not used to. But I have this goal tau dalam my head to become a better version of myself. Plus, the face mask actually helped me a lot. Making new friends has been my New Year resolution every single year. The first day in UUM actually exceed my expectation. I met my friends from MSK, which was a relief sebab I don't know anyone there. I was super happy to talk to them. After that, me and some of the girls went to the mall on our first day at the uni, and it was a blast. Then I terfikir, tak susah pun nak bergaul dengan orang ni. You can do this macam tu kan. Since then, I always say hi to anyone I met, macam hi. I memorize their names and figures. Yalah, you know, tak nampak muka kan sebab pakai mask. It was actually fun even though they don't remember me. I am from Group B.
Hi.
I met so many interesting and talented friends in Group B. Tak naklah sebut nama, korang ramai sangat. Ada satu cerita lucu ni tau. One day, one of the lecturers masuk kelas kita orang. Tiba-tiba tanya if kita orang dah kenal each other or belum. And we said, yes. Which got this response from her. Lepas tu, kenapa awak semua tak bercakap to each other? Senyap je. She actually feels weird that we are so quiet, as other classes at least make a sound as they were waiting for the lecturer to come in. Sebenarnya kita orang pun tak tahu kenapa kita orang senyap sangat. Maybe time tu kita orang tak ada benda nak cakap. Kami tak gaduh hari kita orang pergi cycling satu kelas tu sumpah best gila. I remember that. I never knew that I could meet such people in my life. Thank you for all the things that happened in the class, korang from Group B. You guys might know me as a cheerful and bright person, but to be honest, I'm not. I'm trying to be one. If korang nampak I'm quiet, don't worry. The reason is I have no idea what to talk, and there was a time when I think, tak apa ke aku cakap macam ni? Am I ruining their day? Is it okay for me to tegur dia? Benda tu lah. Dalam Group B juga, I met these people, you know, we call ourselves jiran. They seriously brighten up my day in UUM. We've been through a lot of hilarious, fun, sad and stupid things. Well, tak nak sebut, fikir sendiri. I just want to say thank you to my jiran for everything. Korang is the best gift I have ever received. Bila lagi nak ada chance cakap macam ni kan, even though cringe sikit. To all kohort 7, thank you for being a part of my life. You are the best. Good luck in your life.